our website. It's a great benefit to us, and we really appreciate it. Sean, you want to say anything about corporate sponsorship? Mike has the mic. Grab that mic from him.
All right. Good evening. For those of you I have not met yet, my name is Sean Murphy, and I'm responsible for corporate sponsorships and really reaching out to the corporate community. And it's something I've just been recently become involved in and asked to participate in. But if that's something, if you want to have a big footprint and a big presence and be part of the creative process all through Kansas City and really be prominent and a part of every event that we do, that would be something you definitely want to speak to me about. And we talk about fees for sponsorship, maybe the opportunity to speak and have some personal exposure as well is certainly a possibility. But once again, my name is Sean Murphy. Get with me during or after the meeting and we'll talk a little bit further about that. Thanks.
Great. Thank you very much. The As Seen on TV contest continues to march on. We've not met the last couple months because of scheduling and vacations, but our next product review will be October 25th. So if you've not heard from anyone yet, your product is still in review. And if you have something you'd like to submit, there's still time. October 25th is going to be the last official product review of this year, but we do expect to continue the contest next year, and we will continue to review products in a less formal kind of way through November and December. So get them in and continue to work on that. Next year we'll have another push about educating you on how you can make money there with very little out-of-pocket expense. So it could be a great opportunity. I'm looking forward to seeing some successes. Lloyd's product is being tested in the December area, and we'll love to share more with you about that. And if you have questions, ask him. He's right back there. I'm going to turn this over to David. Come on up. We're going to do a public product pitch today, and David is our patent attorney, one of the patent attorneys on our board, and he wants to make sure you understand what you're getting yourself into.
As Carrie said, I'm Dave Pankros. I'm the resident attorney here tonight. I just wanted to go over, before you speak, if you're going to give a product pitch, we're going to require you to sign one of these disclaimer forms. I wouldn't be an attorney if I didn't have a disclaimer with me. But basically, I'll run through it really fast because it's a whole lot of legalese that you probably don't want to actually read yourself. But basically, that if you're going to take the risk of disclosing everything here in front of this group and in front of everyone on the internet, that you're not going to sue us for disclosing your product because you made the choice yourself. That this is probably a public disclosure that under the patent code, and your rights might be affected for future patenting if you're not protected. That if you have any questions about this, that you need to contact a patent attorney to discuss your. And I have a list on here of where you can find a patent attorney, so as not to be yeah, same shameless self-promotion here. And really that. This is going to be archived, and so people can watch this for years to come. Some of those might be your competitors. So if you're not protected in some way, or you're not going to be in the market really quick, you might want to, consider either not saying too much or getting protected. And that and also that if I respond to your question that you're not my client, I'm not your attorney. Just so that's absolutely clear, it's not an attorney-client relationship. I'm not actually going to even really give legal advice tonight. And finally, that you give us our permission to use you in the archive just as a copyright release. Yeah.
Dave, let me ask you one question. Could you refresh our memory about the time frame required from the moment you make a public disclosure? Sure. How long do you have?
Sure. Under current law, you have 1 year from your first public disclosure to be on file with a patent application. Now, what constitutes a public disclosure is a little bit fuzzy. This definitely would be, but there's much. People don't even have to know that you have the device. If you take it out of your house, that might be a public disclosure. So if you have questions in detail, I can answer them offline. I don't want to spend the night talking about the nuance of public disclosure, but this definitely would be a public disclosure.
Okay, Thank you so much. If we could put those over there, what I'm going to ask everyone to do, if I could get some of my board panelists, Bill and Sean, we'll have some people up here, Mary, David, and Steve. We'll have these guys come up here, and then all of the other board members and committee chairs will have feedback forms.
Can I make just one more comment?
Yeah.
Just one more thing. When you're looking at this sheet, the way this is intended to be filled out is that you put your date down here, you sign and print. That's labeled, but there's the little spaces right here for you to initial each one of these statements, just to make sure that you've read them. So make sure you initial each one before you turn it in.
Yeah, and so mostly what we're about tonight is if you are patent protected or you're intellectually protected, or you don't care to be, or you're and you're ready to just present and get feedback, or you're gonna make a public disclosure and you know that you've got a year to file, and then you've got to go through the patent process if you so choose. Now, all of it, we didn't want to we talked kind of about at the last minute at whether all the committee chairs and board members should be up here, but it would kind of make it a little bit, there's just so many. So we do want all of the board and committee members to be giving feedback. Oh, Lloyd's up here? Up here, Lloyd. Scoochie up here. No, Steve's back there now. You're up here. Where are those feedback forms? Okay. Could board members, committee chairs, make sure you have those. Also, I've asked Robin, you've been around the block a while with inventions. And where is Tyler Pope? Where are you at? Okay, him back there. He's a 3D prototyper guy. You're Cameron, so you can't. Now, some of you will ask if we have time, we'll try to bring you guys in the conversation as well. But if we can't, for time purposes, then if you have thoughts, please write it on a piece of paper to the person, because there is nothing as important as getting feedback on your product before you invest a lot of time and money, especially. So if you have thoughts for these folks, constructive criticism is welcome. Encouragement is always welcome. Please write that and give it to the folks. And if you have a product, if you would just line up over there so we can kind of get a feel for how many of you there are, and we'll manage the night accordingly. Mike has got those forms. Where's Brad? Can you help with those forms too? All right, if you want to show your product, just go on over there and line up. And they've got the non-disclosure forms there. And then based on how big the line is really what's going to determine how much time we'll get. And do you want to say more about your thing, your website or something? You can head on over there if you want. Okay. All right. Steve, you want to take this mic and be kind of a, yeah. Yeah, well, he's more for the audience. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get us started with the first one, but before, well, actually, I'm going to talk just a tiny bit here. The innovation process. Check the slide out. People always ask, what do I do first? What do I do first? This is an innovation process that we recommend. Successful inventing is both an art and a science. This is the science. The science is best practices inventing goes through these steps. And these steps are important because you see those first two steps, create, solve a problem, evaluate it. These don't cost you any money. They cost you your time. These are not steps that you can pay someone to do for you. These are things that you need to do as an inventor to determine if you have something viable in the market. And these two steps are often overlooked and often the source of why inventions fail, why patents fail. So we encourage that you do those. Then you go through the rest of the steps that you can see. And it's not a one-time thing. You go through this process in layers like an onion. Think of it as the core of an onion is I've made millions from my invention. But on the way there, you're going around this process in layers. And so that's how we invent. That's the science of inventing. The art of inventing is that any successful inventor will tell you that there's a fair degree of luck involved. Many would argue more than a fair degree. It is sometimes being at the right place at the right time. Luck is, the definition of luck is when opportunity meets preparation. So be prepared. And when opportunity comes, maybe it's from this video, maybe it's somebody here tonight, maybe it's who somebody knows here tonight. So I want to encourage you in the audience, if you're listening to somebody's product pitch and you think to myself, oh, I know someone that could probably help them, please don't keep that to yourself. Write that person's name and number down and give them that information, because it could be 6 degrees of separation starting with you that makes someone in our group be one of the next Kansas City millionaires, and that'd be great. Okay, so let's begin. Who's up? Yeah, Mike's got a mic. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Let me introduce some of the panelists. Mike, can we just, oh, what's the point? Give him the thing and let him make a point. Give it to Bill, the mic.
There's 2 mics here. Thank you, Mike. I got it. Just before anybody starts their presentation, we do have these rating sheets that we're going to be using, and I wanted to make sure you knew what was on them so that you had a little bit of a sense of preparation that might be a little more fair, perhaps, right? Anyway, so we're thinking in terms of how you would present a pitch to, for example, a group of potential investors. So that's really what we're starting with as a kind of a baseline for our criteria. So in here, we would rate the idea, the company or team that you put together. You might mention that if you didn't bring them all tonight. The feasibility of the product's use, the business model that you've adopted, the competition that you've identified, the style of presentation that you make, the market worthiness, and that's kind of an aggregate, I think, of all these points, and then we'll total those all at the end. And we'll try and give you a numerical score, but it's very subjective. So recognize that, so please nobody be offended by any aspect of what we say. We're really just trying to help you guys get better at what you're doing. So that's
Yes,
my
and ultimately, as an inventor, you better be prepared to take a lot of negative feedback, especially when people start talking about putting their money involved, and when you start spending yours. So just deal with it. Get a thick skin. Let's make it work.
Also, before you start, if you would, since we don't know all of you, please very carefully state your name and spell your name. We need to put that down.
All right, state your name and spell it. Good point, Brad. Okay.
Mike, can you come hold this for me? I'll need both hands.
Here, Mike,
You'll do that?
you want to let somebody else go and put on the wireless?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, let's have somebody else come on up that doesn't need a wireless. You have to have a mic. You got to have a mic.
You have to have a mic because we're on the internet.
My,
I'll let you hold it.
oh, okay.
Close.
And listen, one of the things too is you got to get good at presenting, and this is practice, okay? Practice your technique.
My name is Hoyle Lockett, Hoyl, Lockett. And my invention comes from being associated with back problems in my family, from my father, my wife, and sons, from a background in structural engineering, and also from the idea that exercise is one of the best benefits as far as health in the future. The other aspect of it is it comes from having an open heart surgery and finding that from the time I got out of intensive care until I was able to walk again, I thought I needed some exceptional help. And even though I had a heart hugger to help me out to keep my sternum from separating when I coughed, and I had a walker, there was still something missing. And that is because the weight of your body is always down on you, and you just get worse and worse. And so posture is really a part of exercise in the future, and that's what this invention is about, which is I've got on a 1.5 minute video.
Oh, we're putting the video. Sorry about that.
Keep your microphone out so the TV can pick it up.
What's the product name?
We call it a stand tall back hugger.
Hello, my name is Hoyle Lockett, and I have developed a portable medical device to relieve back pain and strengthen your back through axial tensioning of the spine. I call it the Stand Tall Back Hugger. Using modern engineering principles of axial tensioning, our back hugger unloads the forces on your vertebrae and disc while providing exercise to strengthen your spinal cord muscles and stimulate blood circulation to your disc area. And by using your arms to press down on trapeze bars at your side, your upper body is developed, especially your breathing. Most importantly, you control how hard you exercise within your pain threshold as you control how much tension you apply. You can exercise with your back hugger while standing, sitting, lying down, or walking. However you choose to exercise, you will feel the rehabilitation of your back. Many back problems are related to posture, especially during aging, and the Stand Tall Back Hugger develops the muscles of your spine so that you can once again stand tall. A Stand Tall Back Hugger is so easy to put on and so comfortable to wear. It is portable and always available when you need it. Most importantly, you are always in control of how hard you exercise as you get stronger every day. And don't worry about the budget. The concept of the product enables it to be produced at a most competitive price. Get started for less than a trip to the doctor or the chiropractor. And as with any exercise regimen, consult your physician before using the Stand Tall Back Hugger or beginning any exercise program.
Okay. Panel, any comments, questions? Could you, we need another mic up here. Steve? We need another mic up here. And then if there's any questions from the audience, if we have time for that, then.
Well, my first question was how do you envision this being sold? Are you expecting this to be sold through chiropractors, or is this something you would buy at like a Walgreens?
You hit both of them. First of all, through the pharmacies, there are a lot of what are the soft type of belts that are available now. And in fact, part of this invention, there is a soft belt that goes inside of it, so for the stability and comfort. The main aspect of this, though, it also can go to chiropractors and doctors. For instance, competes with, let's say, traction tables that may cost, well, I know for my wife, they won $6,000 for 6 weeks of 3 treatments a month. You can get an inversion table from $300 to $500, or you can get what's a bench joint extender that does give you a little bit of personal control of how much tension you put on for in the $200 to $300 range. So to me, in one sense, it can be an exercise product that can go out through lots of different hospitals, physical trainers, and schools even.
Can I ask just one follow-up? Since it does seem like it's there to treat a specific condition, have you looked into whether or not you need FDA approval for this device?
I know I haven't, but I assume there will need to be some, but not
Do you know
necessarily.
Do you know what's involved in that?
I have already talked to a couple of doctors of physical therapy, and they said because the same concept in the traction table has already been approved, that it might be much easier to get. But it does not have the problem. On a traction table, you put a lot of compression on your upper body and lungs. And one of the unusual benefits of this that I realized they found out with my heart operation that I had a paralyzed diaphragm, and by using this, it has helped my breathing tremendously.
Hoyle, what do you want to get out of this right now? Like, how can we help? What would you really like to receive now?
Some ideas on how best to approach some of the larger companies who could market this. From my viewpoint, I'll be 80 in another month or two, and I'm looking for a total licensing where I would basically get a licensing fee and royalty, and the companies could take it as far as they could.
Okay, good. All right, thank you very much. I'm going to move us on, and then at the end, I'll try to bring everybody back up and open it to questions, but I want to make sure everybody gets an opportunity to at least give their pitch, and then we'll hopefully take more time at the end for each person.
Prototype of duct tape and staples and Velcro.
all of the feedback people, would you please, how do you want to get these forms to the people? Now or at the end?
Yeah.
At the end? Okay. Next.
Test.
Okay, spell your name for us, please.
My name's Rich Melton, M-E-L-T-O-N.
Try this again.
Test. Is that better? And M-E-L-T-O-N. And I'm with Cover 6 Gear, and we are a holster manufacturer. This is the holster we currently manufacture. This is the most versatile holster on the planet. Basically, I can take this holster and I can go from a cross draw position to appendix, to around the side, to around the back, all with the same holster. I can do outside the waistband if I wanted to do an open carry situation where I put it between my belt and my pants, or I can do it appendix, which is my preferred method in the summertime. The problem is I carry a larger handgun, and typically in the summertime when someone says, hey Rich, come on over and sit down, I prefer to stand because it hurts a lot as a guy. So this holster though solved that problem because I can go like this, and I can roll the holster around, I can sit down, I can drive my vehicle, I can do whatever I need. So I can actually go back into and be accessible right away with the same thing. So the other thing about our design with the swivel is I'm able to put my shirt between the leather belt and the clip. So as you can see right here, here's a clip. My shirt's tucked in, and yet I still have complete concealment of another dummy gun just like this one. This actual size weapon is what is currently concealed in my back. So you can't see the dummy gun, and this is actually what law enforcement would actually wear on the outside of their clothing. So when it comes to safety, other systems that are out there, other holsters, have a potential of a real problem. It's called accidental discharge because they're typically on the outside of your clothing or the inside, and they stay on you. You do not get to remove them. And so what happens is when you remove the weapon, anytime the trigger is exposed, we have a chance for that accidental discharge. Our holster, though, is designed to remove the entire holster. So if I go home at night, I'm actually pulling this off and I'm setting it down. Same thing through the parking lot. If I'm going into the bank and it's posted I can't carry there, and I don't want to be this guy going through the parking lot. I want to be this guy going through the parking lot. So it sends the message that, hey, I'm a normal person, I guess is the right thing to say.
So what do you want from,
I actually need
what do you want
contacts.
next?
Contacts, we've been in full production. These are handmade by the Amish here in Kansas. So, I guess we're in Missouri now, but in Kansas, they're made by the Amish. So I really need contacts. I've got manufacturing set up and ready and production going. We just need to get them out there on the market. So I've got a Facebook page that seems to be growing pretty well. My website's getting built right now. We have 3 stocking dealers. I sold almost 40 over the weekend at my first gun show ever, so I was pretty happy with that.
Contacts individuals that want to buy it, or stores, or
Either
what?
that or stores, individual contacts, people that like, hey, this is my favorite gun shop, and I'd love you to walk in there and tell them how much, how great it is. Yes, sir.
What's your price point on this versus the competition that's less versatile?
That's the thing. The price point is in the same ballpark as all the other holsters. And the reason I came up with this, I actually designed this because I have a drawer full of holsters that one would wear here, one would wear here, one would wear here. None of them ever wore over this side. And this actually, for the same price point, or a little bit more than all the other ones, does everything. So the versatility is really what the value is. And I tell everybody, here's the thing. If you buy one holster that works forever and does everything you need, you can have more money to spend on guns. So what's the price point? $60 retail. $59.99.
All right. Any other panel questions?
I would say if anybody in the audience has contacts through law enforcement, SWAT, gun ranges, preppers, any of those people, conceal and carry courses, obviously, would be a great contact for him. And obviously, it's not just promoting people internally. Those people are wholesalers and retailers as well. So he could do group manufacturing and production, give them a price point so they still have significant margin, and achieve greater market penetration just by having local distribution here. So if you know somebody that, think about that and get that information to Ridge.
Good, thank you very much. Next one, again, we'll try to bring everybody back up at the end and get more group participation going. Spell your name, please.
Billy Johnson, BILLIEJOHNSON. And what I have,
Is your mic on? I can't hear.
It's on, just got to put it up.
Okay.
what I have is the bling sling here. It is, I do a lot of traveling in airports and different places, and always have concern about jewelry. What it is, the bling sling fits over any hanger, any rung of a hanger.
Mike, will you hold that mic for her?
Thank you very much. It's held together by Velcro. You put your jewelry on it. Gravity holds the jewelry down. Doesn't get tangled. You can use this at home or take it with you. I mean, any hanger, you can take it with you on your trips. You get finished. When you leave the hotel, cover it up. Nobody knows what you got. And you can also put a passport, hang a passport on it. The next thing, this is a Teflon safe that you could put your money in, raise up the register vent, stick it onto the register.
Okay. Panel questions?
How does it adhere to the register?
Magnets.
Okay. That's pretty cool.
I want to do a quick little straw poll with the other ideas too, but let me start now with Bling Sling. How many people would buy that? Don't play games, anything like that. If you would buy it. $19.95.
Two for $19.95.
Okay. And then on the safe thing, you didn't really talk a little bit about that.
They're floor registers.
To hide your money or-
To hide your money or your jewelry when you leave the room. A lot of people are getting older and they don't want to put their money in the bank.
Okay, how many would buy that? Okay, on the holster, Rich's holster, how many people would buy that? Okay, on Hoyle's back problem thing, how many people buy that? Okay,
Do I have
Alright.
a question from Angela? Andrea, sorry. Did you have a question?
okay. If you're writing feedback, please keep that.
Okay.
Okay, spell your name, please.
My name is,
You need a mic?
I got this.
Okay.
My name is James Gregg, G-R-E-G-G. Kind of hard to, Gregg, G-R-E-G-G. This is kind of a little bit difficult to do a demonstration here because I don't have a kitchen sink. But this is the standard problem when, how many times has the garbage disposal lid ended up in your sink like this, and you're trying to fish it out with your fingers. You're digging at it with a knife to get it out. And, it's just an ongoing problem. It's just something that if it's happened to me multiple times, it's happened to everybody. So my solution for that was I came up with a double-sided stopper and I've researched and I could not find any of these anywhere. So essentially no matter which direction it ends up down in the drain, it's never going to be stuck. So you're not in there with a knife trying to dig it out or a pair of pliers to dig it out. So it's a double-sided stopper.
And what do you hope to gain from this little pitch?
Some way to take this forward to get it on the market.
Okay, panel, questions, comments?
Double-sided stopper. I don't have, I don't, yeah, I don't know.
All right.
Have you estimated what your production cost is going to be compared to what a regular stopper is?
Production costs versus
The
a regular
production cost,
stopper.
essentially, that would be equivalent to the cost, within, you're looking at, $10, and that's about, the stoppers run anywhere from, depends, off-brand, for $5 to $6 up to about 14.
Okay, good.
Do you have a patent pending on it?
Not at this time.
The reason I ask that is I'm wondering how difficult it would be for existing stopper companies, once they see your design, to simply go back and retool their own stoppers. Or just glue two of them together.
Well, I guess I have 1 year now to take care of that. So,
Do you guys think this would work as sold? Oh, how many would buy it? Okay, well, that's quite a few people. That's pretty.
One comment I'd make, if you saw Stephen Key's presentation, you know that he's a big fan of kind of taking an idea and then taking it to a company that already manufactures something like this and giving them an idea or giving them an opportunity at the idea. And maybe this would be an opportunity to do that. Rather than creating another stopper, go to a manufacturer, like Brad suggested, of sink stoppers already, and then see if you can interest them in your unique idea.
okay. And I had thought about something like with, I know it's like when you buy a InSinkurator as a branded disposal, that whether they would be interested in something. So I'm open to any suggestion of way to get this out on the market.
I agree totally there in regards to manufacturing and distribution of that is going through already very, very well-established channels. And it's an improvement on a good idea. I mean, it's a sink stopper, but a double-sided, and people go, wow, that's ingenious, and it's so simple and so easy. It's so far for an individual or for your team to take it to market versus somebody that else already has distribution. And they go, by the way, we have a double-sided stopper coming out from now on instead of the single-sided. And all the stores go, okay. And so, you know, I would look at the idea of selling distribution rights with a royalty on it. And get out of the manufacturing, get out of the patent, get out of everything. If it's patent worthy, let the company pay for the patent. And let them invest all that money because somebody else is going to come in and knock it off and go, if you have a round grip, they'll put a square grip on it. They'll put a hook grip on it, and they'll bust the patent.
Okay.
So I'd be really, really careful. Not, I mean, I always talk to him about the patents, but I'd want to sell the idea for distribution and start making royalties as fast as possible.
Without a patent, you'd suggest?
I'm saying that patent, it appears to me, and talk to him for first consultation, but patent on that would be a double-sided stopper would be an easy patent to bust. Just change the handle, change the shape, change the design.
Why would they give him any money for the idea?
Well, that's yet to be seen as well, too.
Say thanks and give him a copy.
You know
That's
what,
the thing.
in Stephen Key's book, he does talk about that. It's hard to get people to license an idea, but Stephen does have a chapter devoted to that, and I do recommend that you guys read it. And it's one simple idea on our website. You can check out the book. But it's a hard way to go. A faster way is to go like as seen on TV market, where they don't require patents. They just license things first to market rather than a patent.
Okay.
Other comments, questions? Okay, we're going to bring him up at the end. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Right there's fine. Mike?
Thank you. My name is Johnny Holly, JOHNNYHOLLE. This is a cooler, ice chest for food and beverages. I have cans of soda in here now. It is a 2-compartment cooler. I also have cans of soda up here. I've had people ask me, well, what do I put in that compartment? And I tell them when they pay for it, just whatever they want to put in that compartment. This is for avid NASCAR fans. There is nothing like it. It is a new and unique product. NASCAR fans love to have products that showcase the driver that they are supporting. This cooler is going to be made to customize for every driver in NASCAR. Things that need to happen yet on this cooler, I need to borrow money, get money together to get this started. And also, anybody has any connections with NASCAR, well, I need connections for licensing the product. I need the right to sell the product. I do have relationships that I'm building with some of the NASCAR teams and the person that actually does the licensing with NASCAR. I don't think there's much competition for this because it's a new and unique product. I know there's coolers out there, lots and lots of coolers, but nothing that is shaped in the configuration of an entire race car. Anybody have any questions?
What's the retail?
We're projecting $100 on this. And I give examples on this. This size cooler can easily be purchased for like $20 at Walmart. I give an analogy of a plain old baseball cap, probably $3 to $5 would be the cost on that. And if you do nothing but print 99 on that baseball cap, every avid race car fan knows exactly what that means. And that cap just went to $18. And if you put some fancy stitching and sparkling on it, why, it can sell for $35. I've interviewed a lot of avid fans at the Kansas Speedway and asked them what they would think this should sell for. Most everybody comes up with that figure. Yes?
What are you projecting licensing fees to be?
What do you project licensing fees to be?
Yes, licensing fees with each of the race teams in NASCAR vary from $500 to $750 for the application for licensing with each team. They do have some requirements, though. They each want a prototype submitted with their application. Well, we get into several $1,000s on this prototype if I'm actually to submit one. And I've suggested that these teams work with me and let me bring the product around and show them so I can go on to the next team without having to buy like 100 of these prototypes, which would be prohibitive.
You're saying they're not going to charge you a per item licensing fees as one?
Oh, I misunderstood your question.
Okay.
There's a percentage of wholesale revenue. I think NASCAR is about 2%, and some of the race teams are suggesting 12%, which would be a total of 14% of the wholesale price of the product.
The wholesale price?
Wholesale price.
I can clearly see this being wildly bought by people who building at all the tracks nationwide. Or even for people that have their man caves at home. And their friends come over to watch the race. However, do you envision that people would buy this and carry it into the stands?
Absolutely not. This particular cooler would be against all
Okay, yeah.
NASCAR racetrack rules. They allow soft-sided coolers to be carried in now, and I believe the dimensions on those are a 14 by 14-inch soft-sided cooler. Absolutely. This is strictly a tailgating cooler. And to expound on your question just a little bit, the demographics of NASCAR claim 75 million NASCAR fans, which is 1 out of every 3 of the U.S. adult population. 40 million of those are avid, which kind of means they're nuts, they're crazy. You know, they'll go for a new and unique product.
How many of the 40 million are tailgaters?
Probably not a lot of them, but those avid fans spend an average, according to NASCAR's demographics, of $900 annually on licensed products. So how many caps and jackets and hoodies and coffee cups do they have? This is a new product.
You're openly admitting, though, that you're pretty well limited to the tailgating segment of that market today.
I don't envision that. I envision most every avid fan is going to want one of those. Everybody uses a cooler for something, and if they're an avid fan, they're going to want to showcase that no matter where they go.
Okay, now this is a really good point I want to point out, because what you have here is questions on the market size. And when you're launching your products, you're always going to have disputes over what is the market size. Is it all of the race car avid fans, or is it only the tailgating fans? Time will tell. But these are questions that are up for dispute, so it's good points.
Even if it's tailgating fans, like 80,000 fans per track and 40 tracks, there's 3 million.
Question for you. How do you reach those fans? Where do you envision this product being sold?
Promotion will be via advertising on TV on ESPN at the races. ESPN tells me that depends on the race. Different races have different popularity levels, but approximately 16 million fans that view each race. And they have some interest in it, or they wouldn't be viewing the race. I'm sure there's a lot of avid fans, and there's probably some really lukewarm fans, but those lukewarm fans are sure going to know what to buy their avid fans for Christmas and their birthday.
Who's going to pay, if that were to go, who is going to be paying for the advertising? Do you have a team or an investment team? Because you're talking millions and millions of dollars there.
Absolutely. I figured that all into my business plan and my startup projections.
And also, too, just some feedback, Brett. This is one of those things, even the guys that never go to the track, and NASCAR people will spend money, anything that has their car number on it. And this be sitting behind the bar, they're going to have one. It's sitting in the garage, you see, you could put it, yeah. But here's the thing. You go to somebody that's a NASCAR nut, they're going to have one of these in the garage and one downstairs at their man cave and in their bar, whether they ever go to the track or get out or not. But I think my real concern is getting it to market and getting that exposure and that advertising. That's going to be a huge hurdle.
Agreed.
Good.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to go ahead and entertain some more questions here.
Why not make an additional soft side that they can take through and that you can sell in the stadium?
Can you repeat the question, Gary?
Yeah.
On your microphone?
I can, sure.
Why not make a soft cooler? Is that what the question? A soft side.
He said only soft sides were allowed inside the arena. Or whatever.
Okay, why not make a soft side? So you could go in the arena.
And that is a possibility down the road. In my rough prototypes I made with this cooler, I did lots of different work with it, and my design engineer, who is one of the foremost design engineers in the country on coolers, talked me out of my designs and went with this. And this is the first model we're going with, and not that that's going to be the next model, a soft-sided cooler that can be taken in the stadium, but I do have other models once we get it going in mind to make.
Okay, wait, let me ask a question. Are you all in line, the ones standing? How many more do we have?
I'm the last one.
You're the last one. Okay.
3 left.
We'll go ahead with a question.
I'm not sure if they still do this every Friday night, but QVC used to have just NASCAR products like every week, and you get lots.
QVC has just NASCAR every week for sales.
Is there a question to that, or that's just information for me?
I mean, they sell 10,000.
That's information for you.
Thank you.
Okay, here's another one back here. Go ahead.
Why do you show the soft side in the trunk or in the under the hood?
Do you need the mics?
Put an engine on it? Thank you. I'll take that into consideration for the future. Without telling you specifics, I've got pretty well in mind telescoping handle and wheels. This particular cooler, I think, weighs about 15 pounds. Oh no, the cooler. This under the top compartment has 27 cans in it, 12-ounce pop cans. And under the hood, I have 6 12-ounce pop cans up here. But I envision probably someone would put sandwich material in there. But like I said before, when you pay for it, whatever you want to put.
Okay.
A natural thing to sell out of trailers that line up outside of each racetrack. So the trailers that sell all.
I envision that as being a marketing nightmare to do that. And maybe I would learn as time went along, but how many of this particular number do I have to do that? The marketing plan is to sell them strictly over the website. We'll have booths there, all right, to take orders and ship them direct to the customers.
All right, I'm going to move us on. We'll come back to you at the end with more questions.
Thank
And,
you all so very much.
Okay, let's go to the next one. You can just kind of scoot it over. Yeah, perfect.
As previously mentioned, I'm Kevin Kagey, and that's spelled Kevinkagay. Gay. What I am trying to convey this evening is changes that are coming. And essentially what I'm looking for, right out of the chute, is investors to help develop a product line. A product line that potentially will save lives. Currently in our country, over 100,000 people a year die as a result of communicable diseases acquired in healthcare facilities, from MRSA, methyl-resistant Staphylococcus aureus, to a whole gambit of other communicable diseases. As it stands right now, 1 in 20 people that go into a hospital will wind up receiving one of these communicable diseases, whether it's C. diff, MRSA, or any of the others. With that being said, the EPA has fully endorsed the antimicrobial properties of copper. And our company has been producing things that are made of copper since prior to anyone in this room being born. 1921, National Aluminum Brass Foundry was formed. And we've been producing a myriad of different castings ever since, whether they are electrical connectors that go up on the power lines in substations and our own automobiles, to decorative items, as I previously mentioned, the Bear Creek Bronze line. But this antimicrobial piece is huge. It is going to change the face of healthcare as we know it. In respect to, right now, they've proven when they change out the touch surfaces in the hospital rooms, it reduces that 1 in 20 by 40%. There's not a price you can put on this. There's only 6 companies currently in the United States that are approved for this. They've got deeper pockets than we do. We're in the Midwest. With all of that being said, I want everybody to stop and think about the importance of this. 80% of all communicable diseases are transferred by touch, by the doorknob, by the push plate. We need to change this in our society. Will it reduce the cost of health care? Of course it will, because there's going to be less of these cases. Now, with all of this, there's no point in patenting what God already provided, and that's the fact that copper in itself is antimicrobial. It kills germs. And the EPA has proven their standards state within 2 hours, 99.9% of all bacteria they've tested on these surfaces is dead. UK, they've got a video out. They show post-inoculation, 10 minutes, same results. Everything in this country, everything in the world used to be brass. We used copper in so many different realms. We got talked into stainless steel a long time ago because it's perceivably clean. It never changes. Copper, however, maintains its antimicrobial properties for thousands of years.
So what are you looking for investors for? Like,
To
what
develop
will
a product line, to develop the
a
tooling.
new product line?
A new product line, to develop the tooling, to develop the marketing aspect, the websites, the whole 9 yards. There's one area that nobody seems to really be covering, and that's residential. Of course, we'll be offering retrofit possibilities to healthcare facilities, but they've already gotten their tooling. All they've got to do is change their alloys. There's nobody in the United States right now that's really promoting this in a big way. And if anybody wants to Google antimicrobial copper, you'll find it. Yes, sir.
Okay.
You're talking not just electrocoating stuff?
That'll wear off.
So if you're talking solid piece.
I'm talking a solid piece of bronze, something that has, the EPA designates 60% or greater of copper content. Lead, chromium, and arsenic, nil. Less than, I think it's 0.09 on lead that they're they're wanting that.
Does the cost of copper make it prohibitive? Because even a penny is, more
Absolutely
expensive
not.
than a penny?
No. It's not the copper that drives up the cost of the penny, it's the stamping manufacturing process. Pennies are actually manufactured as zinc. They have a copper coating on them. Dollar for dollar, pound for pound, the material is higher, but the cost of manufacture is not. What's kind of ironic, that push plate right over there that we were going to push and go out the door with is over $100. It's got less than $10 worth of material in it. There's a lot of room for other materials to come in and fulfill this. Currently, right now, the EPA's approved over 355 alloys. The Bear Creek bronze line that I developed years ago, the first alloy, the bronze alloy, is on the approved list. We've got the experience, we've got the know-how. I need a partner that's ready to develop a line and get it out there and market it.
Okay, so any other questions?
Yes, sir.
What is the difference between, because you use this term several times, what is the difference between antimicrobial copper
Yes.
and regular copper?
Nothing.
There's no difference?
No.
They're one and the same.
Absolutely.
Copper is copper is copper.
Yes.
And you simply wanting to get an investment team together to create a whole line of products.
Yes.
Made strictly out of copper.
Copper
Replace
alloys,
a lot of
yes.
other products around the house,
Absolutely.
Okay, I've got people, we're gonna come back to you at the end, but Mary had a question?
Yes, I have a question. Coming from a medical background, will
Yes.
this replace a lot of the, or different types of replacement, such as hip replacement parts, joint replacements? Is that what you're thinking, or is this light enough?
No, it's the touch surfaces that
Okay,
we're
so
coming
it's
in
just
contact with.
external,
The
okay.
EPA's already approved, I want to say about 200 to 300 different items, from IV stands, to bed rails, to chair rails, to doorknobs, to push plates, to cabinet hardware.
Do you see in the future this being something that can be used on these other internally placed products, since a lot of times the microbial get in during surgery and
That-
cause issues at that time?
As I understand it, copper in minor amounts ingested into our body is important for our nutrition. Too much of it can become poisonous. So I don't have the knowledge in order to be able to state at what level that takes place. But it's the touch surfaces that really we want to replace. And there's antimicrobial touch surfaces out there. They're all coated. It's all something that can eventually wear off. But this is the first time in history that the EPA has approved a solid material as being antimicrobial.
Okay, we'll come back to you. I'm gonna move on.
One question. Going back to the top of your presentation.
Yes, sir.
Where you said the vast majority of transmitting diseases are passed on by touch.
Correct.
Okay. Are you suggesting that when we get this investment team together and invest in these products, that the first wave of products would be those to eliminate touch, to eliminate, or to come up with new products that reduce or reduce drastically the touching that people have with what has been non-copper?
I'm not sure I fully understand the question. I apologize.
That copper, that this is very, very important relative to door handles, knobs,
Correct.
bed rails.
Correct.
Where humans touch.
Right.
It can pass on germs to one another.
Right.
So this would be the first probe of products to eliminate or change those products out?
That's already taking place. There's
Okay.
hospitals currently that are.
I'm gonna have to move us on, but we will get back to you at the end, so thank you very much. Okay,
Thank
we
you.
got 1, 2, 3.
Good evening.
Spell your
I'm
name,
Wil-
please. Spell your name, please.
Wilbur Caldwell, WILBURCALDWELL. I represent Easy Innovations, LLC, and we are marketing a new product which is called the Body Furnace. It's a battery-powered heater that keeps you warm in the cold. The concept, if you're familiar how your body responds to the cold, it restricts circulation to your extremities and skin surfaces and pools that blood into your core, so to maintain your vital temperatures to prevent hypothermia. The object of the body furnace is to heat your blood, to restore circulation, and spread that warmth throughout your body, keeps your hands and feet and all that warm. The way it works is it just heats one side, so you wear it inside your jacket, and that heat is concentrated to where it penetrates into your body core and restores circulation. It's a rechargeable unit, or most popular way of using it is with a rechargeable battery pack. It has a control switch to control the heat output, a belt you can either wear as a shoulder pack, fanny pack, or clips. Just clip it inside of your jacket. But right now it is patented. We patent and trademark was issued in '06. And I've been in retail stores, catalog sales, shows, and various ways of marketing. Right now, it seems like website, I do have a website e-commerce site, and my objective at this point is to drive traffic to that website through advertising. So I do have agreements with marketing firms to look for license or large-scale retailers. I do have manufacturing set up, inventory established, and good to go. What I'm looking for, I do have a nice ad, a quarter-page ad that will go into printed publications or online advertising. What I'm looking for is advertising avenues that will get the word out, that meets my economy of scale, which is not very high, and give me a return on investment for what I have to pay for the advertising.
Good. Questions?
I know one of the things we talked about in the past is for the motorcycle community, okay, which again, the Harley riders, those guys will spend $8,000 on chrome. They're not going to have any problem. What's your price point on that?
$50.
Shoot, they pay $100 to stay warm. My question is, do you have the ability where that can plug into a cigarette lighter?
Yes.
On a motorcycle?
Yes, it does have a 12-volt adapter where you can plug it into a motorcycle. It also has a battery holder where you can use alkaline batteries, AA batteries with it if you choose to use it that way.
Good.
And by the way, I did go to, Brad recommended me to go to the motorcycle show, Goldwing, and it's not a good idea to go to a show when it's over 100 degrees to a motorcycle show. But most of those folks already have the $300 suit as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's one of the other guys. No, go ahead, you're fine. I don't want to mess up. No, you're fine. Go ahead and get it. Let me, no, you go ahead and do that. Let me just get it. Any other, while we're waiting for him to pull something up, any other questions? I know I've got two left. I've got these two guys. They both need to pull something up. So while we're waiting, any questions for the other people that have gone from the group? Comments on the presentation? Questions?
It's actually the way the heating element is put together, as far as the way it's insulated and emits the heat just on one side in one direction. It's more effective than other units.
Okay, one more over here.
Is the cover, can it be sold in camo to be marketed to the sportsman community?
Yes. The cover can be made. I have made it in a variety of colors, just just test marketing. But I kind of come back to the Henry Ford principle. All colors are great as long as it's black. To kind of simplify the thing, to roll it out.
Yeah. Okay, how many people would buy that? Okay, not bad. He'll be taking orders. Okay, let's go with this gentleman. We're going to get us back on track. Go ahead.
Hello. My name is Courtney Kick-Ass Carl, as you can see right here. Carl, K-A-R-L, first name Courtney, middle name Kick-Ass. I'm the founder of Kick-Ass Products, and what we have here is the world's greatest drywall patch. I did this PowerPoint presentation like about a year and a half ago, so anyway, basically, we'll just go over it kind of briefly, but I looked through the U.S. Patent Office, and there's a lot of patents, and a lot of them contain different solutions to a common problem experienced by thousands of people every day. A hole is in their wall. As you can see, this is an existing product. It's a 6x6 repair patch. It's a piece of aluminum with some mesh, and it adheres to the wall. You just stick it over the hole. And there's another example. Basically the same thing, manufactured by a different manufacturer. These are in every Home Depot, they're in every Walmart, they're everything. But there are some drawbacks to the idea of putting a thin piece of metal over a hole in your wall. It's not always a flat spot that you've got on the wall, and the metal can buckle or bend, makes it difficult for you to actually make a smooth transition and make it hide in the wall. The metal will create a hollow spot in the wall. It sounds hollow when you tap on it, and it's not as strong as the drywall itself. And then you can't use an anchor or nail to attach anything to the spot on the wall which has been repaired. The solution, that's me obviously, what if you had a material that would readily accept joint compound and hold it in place while you smoothed it out and the surface was perfectly flush to the wall? What if the patch was strong enough to accept a wall anchor and you could hang a picture from the patch? What if the patch was easy to use, you could cut it to size and use the patch for multiple smaller holes? Then you would have the world's greatest drywall patch. So, what this is it's a spongy matrix. Pass this out. This is a piece of the sponge that was in the wall that I pulled it out because I wanted to see like how much does it actually, go into the drywall itself, and is that going to be strong? Is it going to hold? Is it going to be easy to do? And it is. It's basically perfect. So anyway, that's why it's the world's greatest drywall patch. But in the field, drywallers fabricate their own drywall patch. Basically, that's the same concept of what this is. It's basically what's called a butterfly patch, which basically you take a piece of drywall and you cut off part of the sides of the drywall, and then all you're left with is a piece of drywall paper, and you put mud around it and you stick it in the hole. But your normal guy, at home or whatever, doesn't have a piece of drywall just sitting around his house that he can make a butterfly patch with, and that's why they go to Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart to pick up a drywall patch. Now, the market on this, let's see the next one. There's an example of the first coat of it. The second coat, it's already basically done. The marketplace, figures are hard to come by, at least by me, but at a conservative estimate in a city of 1 million people, because I came from Las Vegas, there are 14 Home Depots, 12 Lowe's, 17 Walmarts, and multiple other paint, drywall supply, and independent hardware stores. You could conservatively estimate at least 2 patches will be purchased per day per store, so that winds up to 20,000 patches sold per day and 600,000 sold per month. The price point of the metal patch is $4 at your Lowe's, your Home Depot. I happened to come across Wallboard Supply Company, and they said that they were buying them wholesale for 75 cents. Now, unfortunately, that packaging that I have right now, buying it in a small quantity turns it into just $1 for the package, and that doesn't even count the patch itself. But obviously, this is one of those cases where the actual product in this particular form costs way less than the packaging, because I could probably get this for pennies, So potentially, I could easily beat the price point of the metal guys and potentially, hopefully, have a better, product. So that's where I'm at on this thing right now. Questions?
How's it held in place while you're putting on the plaster?
It has adhesive. It will have an adhesive on this side on this, and it's going to have adhesive on the other side of the mesh. And what you do is you cut it, or you can, the nice thing is you can actually just tear it if you wanted to. It doesn't even have to fit in the hole really perfectly. You tear it, you put the adhesive mesh over it, and then you just put it in the hole, and the adhesive on the mesh holds it to the wall, and the sponge holds onto the mesh, and it's not sticking up. There's literally, the only thickness that you have is the thickness of the mesh, which is, I don't know, 1/2 millimeter. So you potentially don't have to, I don't know how many of you people have ever had to patch a drywall hole, but when you have a hole that's like 3 inch, 1.5 inches, all of a sudden you've got 12 inches of mud by the time you're done patching this hole. And especially with one of these 6x6 things, you can't make it any smaller. It's 6x6. If your hole is 3 inches, you have a big 6-inch by 6-inch piece of metal on your wall that you've now had to float out, and now you got a big hole, a big patch, and so anyway, this is a little bit better.
Any other questions? How many people would buy it? Okay, good. We'll have time for questions in the end. Thanks a lot.
I have one real quick
Okay,
question.
go
Have you
ahead.
thought about, rather than being on the retail side, it's such a simple and ingenious product. Whoever's manufacturing the drywall or all the other patches, you just thought about selling the idea for them for marketing and distribution.
I thought about it, but they already have their whole line, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but this is the new and improved version.
It is the new and improved, and I don't know, that might be a way to go, but I just, I don't know.
Because again, established distribution channels and new and improved stamped on the same product increases sales at least for a short period of time, anywhere from 30 to 40%, just those words, new and improved.
Right.
And, well, I tell you what, I think it'd take a lot of hassle off of you without having to battle the price point and the packaging, which is going to be a major issue.
Right.
Somebody else can already go in and that's already in Lowe's and Home Depot and sell it for you.
Okay.
So I'd at least think about that.
Sure.
But I think it's very cool.
Thank you.
Okay. Next, Bob?
Mine's not as serious. It's, you guys are smart, I guess. But it's a toy. I've been to Maker's Fair. Anybody go to Maker's Fair? First last name Bob Colston, Coulston. Bob, Coulston. Bob, B-O-B. I got kids. I'm a woodworker, so my kids want to woodwork. I'm scared to death of power tools, so my kid says, make a rubber band gun. Well, they've come a long way, so I got a good videographer, and we made a Kickstarter video. We're going to try to be on there in a couple weeks. We'll see. Please help. Kickstarter videos are usually longer than your sales sheet videos. Obviously, I don't know if y'all know that. Kurt wanted me to make sure you knew that. And Kurt also wanted me to make sure you turn around and watch it. So, hey Kickstarter, I'm Bob. I'm here today to tell you about my new revolutionary product called Bandit Guns. It's a rubber band gun that is a shotgun. The Bandit Gun is the first multi-firing mode rubber band gun. It is a shotgun style made with laser cut wood. The first mode of firing is a single shot. This simply pump and shoot. The second way to shoot is called rapid fire. Simply hold the trigger back and pump as fast as you can. Third way to shoot is called the shotgun blast. Simply pump all the rubber bands to the top and shoot them all at once. Ready? Fire. I created the Bandit Gun as a kit form. It's 14 pieces of laser cut plywood. All you simply do with the instructions included, you just simply stack the layers of plywood on top of each other. And the final piece, you snap in place, take the required fasteners, and push them in the holes. Oh, don't forget the ammo. That's included as well. I created a second version of the shotgun. This one is a mini version. The thing that's different is it doesn't have a trigger. It still has a shotgun feature. It does a single action or rapid fire also. I offer this to you at a lesser cost because the manufacturing process is quicker, but either one is a ton of fun It's up to you where and how you use it. We thought a funny skit would help, so here's this one. Time to go to sleep. Hey Kickstarter, this is where I need your help. Since I debuted this product earlier this year, I've been overwhelmed with orders. So I've located a manufacturer that can do this with a bigger lasers, faster manufacturing time. So this is where I'm asking you to help me so I can help you have a blast. I say give a hand to Kurt. He did a good job.
What can we do to help you? What do you need next?
Buy on Kickstarter. Brag, brag, brag.
When will it be available on Kickstarter?
Well, you know, Kickstarter, they got to approve you. So we hope and pray that we put our best foot forward and they approve us, and then we'll be on there in a week or two, I hope.
All right, notify us. And the other thing we could all do is if we'll put it on our blog. If you send us a note, we'll put it on our blog and on our social networking. If you see that, please re-share it on your social networking and pass the word and see if we can help them get some sales.
What's the price point?
Well, the funny thing is, MFG, I don't know if anybody knows what MFG.com, manufacturinggroup.com. I went on there, and I didn't go overseas. The gentleman here maybe can help me with that. But 69 laser manufacturers, the one that won was in Lee Summit, Missouri. So I'm helpful for that, and they're a bunch of rednecks, so we're good. I could sell the main shotgun with the trigger on Kickstarter. I got to include shipping and their fees, but retail's $24.95. Shipping online. I have a website. The triggerless one is $20. So laser cut, we went the plastic route. That's very expensive, so that might be the next step. I don't know.
When you buy it, it's all assembled?
No, the best thing is my kids want to put it together. So it's 14 pieces of laser cut wood. It requires just screws, no glue. My boy said, I don't want to glue this and wait. It's in Lego instructions, so no words. You just stack them up and bolt it together. So first day at Maker's Fair, I sold out. Second day, sold out. Took orders second convention or show, sold out again. Oh my God. Actually, that was kind of the reason they paid a little more, because they want to assemble them.
Yeah, what about at Hobby Lobby in those craft stores?
I don't know, Maker's Shed, that guy was at the Maker's Fair. He goes, we want them in the magazine so we can sell your kits there. I mean, I'm getting overwhelmed. So this will hopefully get me cash.
Yeah.
So then I can go the right route with packaging.
That's a great
and
idea.
stuff.
The Kickstarter's a great
But,
approach for you.
Yeah, I think we talked about that last month. Sure. I got 4 in here, but Tyler, look, Tyler's like, I texted you, I thought you wanted 2, yeah, two there, but I have like 4 or 5 in my bag.
That's awesome.
But
I'm going to go one more question in the back there, and then I'm going to bring everybody up front.
much as I can. The overhead, you need 10 grand. I think there was a gun on there called Bug Assault and Indiegogo. They asked for 15, they got 573,000.
How much are you asking for in Kickstarter?
About 10 grand.
10.
You know, this stuff, you don't need anything. Minimum orders is pretty minimal. I just need cash to do it right. I might buy my own laser. I don't know. I have one, but I want a big one. So.
Yeah, interesting.
I'm tired of watching.
Okay. One more question.
like
Gentleman in the back had his hand up.
Me, 2 years worth of thinking and losing a lot of sleep. That's what you do for kids, you know. You love your kids so much, you try to get them something, and they're bored with them now. They're on to the Legos or something else. So. But they are a lot of fun.
That's good.
Oh, I don't know, thousands.
How much money have you made?
I could pay the laser off.
Okay,
so
good.
30 grand, maybe 20, 30.
Good.
Like that.
That's excellent.
In about 3 months. Online orders, I learned it's expensive to ship to Canada and Japan, and you know, I got to change my website on that. So, but
That's good.
huh? Oh, absolutely. First, that was a funny thing. The Makers Fair was 1 week, 1 weekend. I went the week before to my patent attorney. He's like, "Don't sell any." I'm like, "Well, you got 3 days." So he wrote it up, and so we're patent pending. So.
That's great. That's fantastic.
The shotgun, yeah, yeah. And then I don't know if you can see it, but when you pump it up, these go up the hill. See how they go up the hill? Yeah, you'll see them. Japanese. There you go. So you get, the 3 styles, the major shot, or you can just pump it, huh? Wait, Tyler needs it. There you go.
Real quick, just a real quick idea. That would be fantastic for like Cub Scouts and den mothers.
At the Makers Fair, some big guy, I lost his number, I'm not good at this. He goes, "We got to get them to the Cub Scouts, not the Boy Scouts, because they're too young for BB guns, too old for toys." They go, "This is a kid," gives them a prize, so who knows, that might go there too. Well, as you can see, yeah, I've sold a lot, and then the next day I'll sell more to that office because they want to fight each
All right, let me ask the panel. Any other questions from the panel first? Okay, let me bring all the other people that demoed.
I think it's a great demonstration device, so if you
It
can get
is.
this like onto Shark Tank or onto QVC or something like that, you want to look at that?
I don't want Shark Tank because I found out Shark Tank takes 2%, the show takes
do they?
2% of your profits for the
Thanks.
rest of your
Okay.
deal. I think there's other ways to raise money than that.
Sure.
I don't know.
Write you a $5 million check, that's okay.
Well, it is. I tend to be greedy. I mean, Kurt's always trying to write me a check for a part of it, but I don't know. It's funny because I didn't want to invent these. It's just God's path. You just kind of take what's in front of you and go to the next step.
But you
First-
started showing up at this Inventors. Did you
A
have
year
that
ago.
before you started showing up here?
I dabbled with it. First one was 52 parts. It didn't work. I think I went through 50 versions maybe before I got to 14 pieces, and simple enough a 4-year-old could put it in together. So, and then no glue. I mean, I do need a bolt manufacturer. Anybody know anybody about, they're called binding bolts.
Can you 3D print it?
No, too expensive. Tyler. But I'm on McMaster-Carr. Get with me later, please. The binding bolts are expensive on McMaster-Carr. I've asked every United States company and they never follow through. So
Yeah,
go ahead.
before we go to that question, I'm sorry, let's bring all the people that presented up, and can you guys give them the feedback? What's the best way to get that to them? Mary, can you handle getting them the feedback? Okay, if you presented, Mary is going to handle getting you your feedback. And I want all the people to come up here, and this is where questions, comments, anything at all that you can offer these folks to help them move forward. Let's kind of refresh our memory. I'm going to give the mic. Where is a mic?
Right here.
Okay.
These new,
I'm going to go down. I want you to just
That's why I
say
took them away. I
what your
didn't want to
product
confuse
is and just refresh our memory. The name of it.
Hoyle Lockett, the Stand Tall Back Hugger.
Courtney Kick-Ass Carl, world's greatest drywall patch.
Johnny Holly, the race car cooler that'll be made for avid NASCAR fans.
Rich Melton, Cover 6 Gear holster.
James Gregg, the double-sided stopper.
Billy Johnson, the bling sling and the bank.
Wilbur Caldwell, the body furnace.
Bob Colston. Oh, Bandit Guns is what my wife calls it.
Kevin Kagi, the antimicrobial copper product line.
Is that it? Okay. Questions from the audience for any of them or comments, things that can help them? Well, maybe we will be moving to the snap. Get the mic, please. Mike.
Where am I going? Kevin, on developing the line, would you have an interest if we have inventors in the room, if they could bring you a product to look at it?
Absolutely.
All right, that's something to think about.
I got a comment. You're not allowed to have a comment.
He can have a comment.
I was looking at the review list, and there's one thing on there that I'd like to add or at least call to attention, and that's you got to have it. You know, there's one presenter up here that I think, or at least that has a product that I think a lot of people thought, I got to have that. And I'd say, Bob, you've got that wow factor. And what's interesting is with the economy the way it is, some products, even though the people say I'd buy it, when it comes down to it, if there's no discretionary income, they may not buy it. But there's certain things that have the wow factor that I saw a couple products have that that people may just, even though they don't have $25 to spend, I think right now you'd probably sell us all one of those guns for somebody that we know. So the wow factor is a huge criteria for your product. The second thing I want to say is the market size. The whole patch product is an enormous market size, and I think that would be probably another huge market, marketable product as well. It's just my thoughts.
Yeah, there was somebody back there, if you could take it back to them. And also, Rich wants to go really bad, but let's go back to this man and then up to Rich.
Rich, what's your question? Your comment?
I was going to say on your product, you need to get on LinkedIn and get it with the manufacturers groups. There's a lot independent product manufacturers. If you could get with them and find out if they could get your product into stores. I used to be one for building products. I'm not anymore. But I was always looking for unique products that I could go to customers with and say, hey, here's this. And you may not make a lot of money at first, but you'll get it out there besides just you doing it. Okay, I'm done. Thank you.
I have a question for you again, Rich. Rich, what is your website? Do you have a website?
It's down right now. It's mycover6gear.com, and I'm hoping to have it up pretty soon. We just started revamping it. I do have my Facebook page up and active, though. It's cover and then space the number 6 gear. If you search that in Facebook, it'll show up.
I don't do Facebook, so it's mycover6, the number, THGEAR.com? Yes. Thanks, man.
And did you have a question as well? Or you were just trying to help Rich? Gentleman in the back?
No, I just asked a question.
Okay. Any other questions, redirects, comments, discussion? We seemed like we had a pretty spirited discussion about the NASCAR car earlier. Any more thoughts on that? I know we had several folks talking about that.
I had a question for Rich. What about quick draw? In law enforcement, a lot of times they have to draw their weapon real quick. You said the holster comes out with the gun, right?
Only if you want it to. See, I can.
I gotcha. Okay. Just curious about that. Thank you.
No, as long as you're fat, it's okay.
Okay.
Can you keep that thing in there? Thank you.
Do we have announcements? Oh, okay. I don't know what.
I've got them sorted out. This
Okay.
and this.
So.
Do you want me to give them all?
I think we should just give them out, yeah. We have not done this with these written performance evaluations before. I think what we're going to do is turn these over to the individuals, because really the idea is these are feedback for them. And so again, you know, your verbal comments are really helpful. Sometimes it's good to have a little something to remind you, perhaps on paper. So we've tried to do that this evening for the first time, and if the inventors say that's a bad idea, we won't do it again. But at least it's something to start with as a reminder for some of the things. Any other comments, questions, thoughts?
Mike's got a comment. I think these rounded people need a round of applause. I think they were wonderful.
Oh, we have a question in the back. Mike? Mike with the mic? Right there in front of you.
I've had several ideas over the years, and then I found something in Bed Bath & Beyond. But some other things I thought, well, I don't see this in the store, but then they're online. And does that mean that the person just never really tried to get it into the stores, or is something that maybe just wasn't good enough to get in the store and stay there? Or what happened that it's just online and you don't see them out there?
Yeah, let me talk about that for a second, because from a marketing standpoint, people sometimes don't appreciate what's happening here. What I see with a lot of these products is a high barrier to entry to get them into distribution, and that's the term we use. You've got a high barrier to entry to get into retail channels because you've got to have contacts, you've got to have a mass production capability. If you're going to go into a store, you're going to have to show that you've got the capacity to manufacture in volume. There's a lot that goes into that, so usually it's a high barrier to entry to get a new company to get started. I think several people have commented on the idea of if you've already got a marketing channel established, for example, with Home Depot or Lowe's or something like that, it's a lot easier to get your foot in the door. But if you don't have that, you've got to prove to that organization that you're going to be a credible source for them. So, I mean, don't even think about Walmart, because you've got to, show that you've got a track record for something like that. So you're going to find probably a lot of products that are online. I mean, we've got an example, I think, with Wilbur's body furnace, where you really have to have a large volume of those things before you can put them into a store. So you've got to kind of ramp up, and it's almost like a bootstrapping process to get your product out there. Now, I think what we're seeing a little bit with the Bandit gun is that it's got a great deal of appeal. And so from that standpoint, you might be able to kind of, ratchet that up. So Kickstarter is a great option to try and get some funding for something like that. But then the next step, and we did put on the form the idea of your business model. We didn't really hear too much about people talking about what their business model is, what channel are they going to use to reach that consumer. And I wanted to ask that question, actually, so I'll ask a question of the gentleman with the NASCAR product. What's your channel to reach that customer from the standpoint of how do you get that into the hands of somebody? Does it go through a Walmart? Does it go through a specialty store? Is it something that you're going to only sell direct off on the online channel?
No,
How are you going to do it?
I'm sorry, I didn't make that very clear then. Going to market strictly on my own website and do massive promotion so that every avid NASCAR fan knows about this product via primary thing would be ESPN advertising, hand out brochures at every racetrack at all the races, billboards, possibly some flyovers at NASCAR races.
So you're going to
Does
go
that
ahead and
answer your
take
question?
Yeah, I just want to ask, I want you to think that through a little bit, because if you do that, you're going to have to do all the manufacturing, all the packaging, all the promotion, all the fulfillment, all the shipping. You're going to have to, are you going to outsource that, or are you going to do that yourself?
I have the manufacturer lined up to start on manufacturing it. The only thing I'm going to do myself is the final phases of putting the hinging on and putting the graphics on and putting them in the box and shipping. I'm going to do that myself. I've got the building lined up to rent once we get everything going.
So you're going to need some help.
Yes,
Okay.
my projections are initially the first day we'll need 40 employees and it'll grow to about 160.
Okay, so where's your, how do you get these numbers? Where's that? Because this is really instructive, I think, for everybody to think through your channel process. So how did you get those numbers? How did you arrive at that?
Just figure the time it's going to take for the operations of putting on the graphics and putting on the hinges and putting them in the boxes and putting shipping labels on and that sort of thing for the projected amount I'm projecting to sell.
And how did you arrive in that projection, is I guess where I'm going. How do you know how many of those you're going to sell?
Well, I'm not sure that's anything you absolutely know, but I've taken those demographics and I suppose arbitrarily applied some figures to it, although they're not arbitrarily either. I mentioned that I have interviewed people tailgating at Kansas Speedway. I've actually interviewed 400 people. And of course, I respect what somebody said about saying they'll buy it when push comes to shove. Why, maybe they won't have the money and maybe they will, but 100% of those 400 people just didn't say, oh yeah, I'll buy that. They said, wow, where can I get one of those? I want to know.
Okay, so
100% of 400 people.
Excellent. So you've conducted primary market research, basically. That's what we'd call that. Excellent. Okay, good. That's great. Brad, you got a comment?
I think the number sold is going to correspond to the fan interest per driver. In other words, there'll be a lot more Dale Earnhardt Juniors sold than some obscure driver. I would think it would make sense for your strategy to first approach NASCAR itself, get them to endorse the product, and to line it up with their other products, apparel, caps, all of that on their website, to where people go in droves to NASCAR's headquarters to look for products to buy. And I think the interest would roll out from that.
I've got a little comment myself. I don't know for certain. You have to research this. I'm very certain that NASCAR's got trademark on all of this type of information. So I think you're going to have to get their blessing before you can go anywhere. I think. If not, you'll have to put the car in some other car.
May I address that? If you'll note on this prototype, there is some masking tape over the NASCAR mark. And my having that on there opened dialogue with NASCAR, which turned out to be the most wonderful blessing I've had in this whole thing. And I got some people on my team doing that. But until I get licensing, I'm not allowed to use that. But this one prototype, the director of marketing in Roush Fenway has given me permission to use that for promotional purposes only.
Cool. Very good. Congratulations.
Okay, got a question in the back, Mike.
It's more of a comment. It's for Wilbur. I was just thinking, as we sit here and talk about the NASCAR thing, you could take that body warmer and put it on a tailgate platform and market it to NFL and to every team. Now, I'm not, that's a whole other idea, but it, and then QVC, I mean, they do the NFL shop and that kind of thing, so you just kind of open some doors that way. Just an idea.
Sure, thank you.
Yeah, I would like to talk to you. I don't know how to break into that, do the tailgate, marketing thing, and I'd like to talk to you after the meeting on that. I do have brochures and business cards, and I can leave the product out. There was quite a few hands went up, so if anybody wants to look at the product or take a brochure, I'll have those up here after the meeting.
Okay, a question, anything coming in from online viewership? Kurt, Stephanie, nothing yet? Nothing at all. It's not, hadn't happened now, it's not going to happen probably.
Rich, I got a question for you. And I don't think I had ever asked you this before.
Okay.
Do you sell just one size holster, one fits all?
No, actually, I have my sell sheet here. I know we talked about that a couple weeks ago. This is my sell sheet that I drop off with all my potential dealers. And
That's how many sizes?
well, we currently do 37. I've got another 5, maybe 6 I'm going to order this week after I did my first ever show over the weekend and was just, I actually ran out of business cards. I took a bunch with me on Saturday morning. The show opened at 9. By 12:30, we realized that we were going to be out. So I had to have my wife run, and I had to email some people to get my card printed, and we were out for about 45 minutes. But this is the sheet that I actually use at the show. I let people look at it, carry it, and for me, my sell sheet really works best if it's laminated because I can now leave this with a dealer. I know it's going to be safe, and they actually love it because their customers can flip through it and pick something and order it.
Is the price point the same for all the models?
Yes, all models are the same price point. It was just easier, even though some are smaller weapons, because that $59.99 price point just works across the board.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
It's important to know that it's not only just 36 different sizes, a little bit smaller. Those are actually molded to that exact specific weapon. And that's incredibly, incredibly important. It's not just a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller. That's what gets you the snug fit. So it means specifically molded for exactly the dimensions of that weapon. So it stays really tight.
No, it's on the list. So working on it. The other thing is we do left and right-handed. So depending on what your flavor is. I only usually make righties, and then I do specials at the show. This is something to think about for everybody who's here and has an idea. When I do a show and I run out of something, or if it's a left-handed person and they come to the show, I'll do a $10 off the show price and then free shipping to their house. And that incentivizes them to buy. Now, if somebody comes to me like you at the show and say, hey, I have this weapon and I know I can get that dummy, I'm going, okay, it's $10 off and free shipping to your house because I know that purchase price pays for my dummy. So there's something to think about for all you guys when you do have something and you start marketing it. It's the way to pay, get it paid for.
Rich, if you thought about if you go to local gun shops and stuff like that, will you have a sample that you can then leave with the gun shop owners so that people can try it on while they're there? Because I know I'm not going to buy a holster unless I can try it.
Yeah, actually the packaging that I came up with, every one of them is zipper top, like a Ziploc, so they can actually take it out and try it on. Most of the time I won't leave one of these there. I just tell them to try the one at the store, but most folks, when they get it out and they hold it and they put it on, they can tell, but it fits their weapon so well that we haven't had any issues where we had to have a sample. And because really, the last thing I really want to do with something like this is leave it at a store where who knows what's happening to it and it's getting stepped on or thrashed or whatever. And by the time I come back, it doesn't even look like this. It won't fit any gun, and the clip's bent and everything, and they're showing everybody that particular one. So something to think about too.
Okay, I think those are most of the questions. Anyone else have any other thoughts? Anything they want to share, recommend? I think the last comment Rich made, when you get into the real world, you find out all kinds of things. And one of those things is that when you offer something for retail sampling, then obviously that changes the nature of the product sometimes. So these are all kinds of really good things that once you get into manufacturing or developing your own product, you find out lots of things. I'm going to add one comment to that. We haven't really made this point, but mostly we try and recommend that people think in terms of either developing their own product, becoming entrepreneurs, or licensing their idea or product to somebody else. So those are usually the two paths that people take for development of an idea. Sorry, go ahead.
What liability do you have for somebody shooting their eye, that kind of thing? Yeah, so just insurance policy. Okay, all right. That was the only downside I could see.
Unfortunately, my son took a direct hit. Thank you. My son actually took a direct hit on his own. I don't know how he did it, but he come in, but I guess that's a good market test. Right? I mean, he said it was right here, Dad, and it hit right here. And I'm like, out here? No, right here, Dad. So he took a direct hit. It was, yeah, of course. No animals, hold on. Let me look. Never aim at people or animals. Injury or damage can occur. Always use proper targets, which I sell targets too. Because some moms are like, I ain't buying a gun. I got little silhouettes. Hey, you see one up there. Yeah. Well, even I had a lunch with the CEO of Union Station. So, and the CFO. We had lunch, and they want it in the Science City store, I think. So, it's just I can't make them. I got a 50-watt laser, and I mean it's 20 grand laser. But it's slow. I mean I need a 1,000-watt laser. I need this thing going because I need to see my wife. It's just more power, yeah. Oh yeah. But I mean we got a 50-watt laser. It takes like 35 minutes to print out 14 pieces, but lease on it and print it out in 6 minutes. So it's like, but it's more. So hey, if Kickstarter kicks off and it's good, I'll buy a 1,000-watt laser. You know, I don't know. It's just look for the signs and see what's the next step. The business plan, I don't have it. Let's just one step at a time. Protect and go.
Mike, you got a question in the back.
Where are you? There you are. I was curious about your wood there. Have you ever looked into dye stamping it out?
Oh yeah, I've
Is that
done
too
that
thick
too.
or?
They won't do it. A guy and I've talked to several. I do recommend MFG.
Are they saying it's too thick?
Too thick. It's
Right.
rough edges. This is down to the. You can't see the parts inside, but they literally do snap together, the pendulum effect and all that. So, it's a challenge. So, if you got another way to make it cheaper besides plastic, then let me know. Go ahead. Back.
But the laser cutting and trimming, you also get some decoration.
Yeah, oh yeah, I wanted Remington to maybe put their name on the shotgun shell, so I can draw a little royalty off of that, but somebody said Remington, you have to pay Remington to put it on there. And then the logo, I don't know if anybody knows, if you have a laser product you want to cut out, come and ask me, because I know a lot about the laser now. There's difference in line weights. There's a difference between vector cutting, raster. I mean, yeah, I want bamboo plywood actually, and you know it's hard to come by, but we'll get there. We'll see how it goes, but bamboo is like the fastest growing wood, so they call it green. So. Yeah. So rubber bands, man, they make a lot of money on rubber bands. They mark them up big time because I buy them by the pound. So, any other questions?
Okay, I think we're at 8:30, so we're probably ready to wrap up about now. What I think we'd do, we have to be out of here by 9, so we've got 10, 15 minutes if anyone wants to kind of network privately with anyone that we've spoken with. One more question, one more comment.
I just wanted to, would anybody that could give me any ideas of how to get the stopper in front of a manufacturer, because that's definitely not my forte of what I do, so any guidance or advice would be greatly appreciated.
Okay, see him after the meeting as we're wrapping up. Any other comments, questions? All right, good. Thank you all for attending. Thank you all for presenting. I hope we got some value here. And this is our final meeting of the year, by the way, so we won't be back until January. So don't come back here in November, December, because we won't be here. We look forward to seeing you next year.